What up, FIFA Tears, and welcome to the Free Foot Tears podcast. This is episode 37. I am Mersgoth, and I am joined by Brad and Luke in today's episode. How are you both doing?
Doing good.
Doing fairly well, yeah.
Doing fairly well. Sounds good. I mean, to be fair, I think we've had some good luck so far this weekend.
100%.
Yeah, you two definitely had some very good luck. I've just had some sort of luck in the Back to the Future series, which you guys can look out for this week. Yeah, so I think generally, I don't play the game. Everyone knows I don't play the game as much as you guys and that, so you should have more luck if you're opening more packs and things. Luke has basically convinced me to do the Icon player pick, so expect to see a video coming to you soon where I pack absolutely nothing. But yeah. We'll see. Maybe the luck can rub off.
Let's be honest. I've not convinced you. It was going to happen anyway. We all
probably
know
happen.
that.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen. Yeah.
Death taxes Brad opening icon packs.
Yep. Yeah. Why not?
As recently announced over on Twitter and in last week's episode, the podcast is now sponsored by Manscaped. So here is a quick ad talking about Manscaped.
Thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring today's episode of the Free Foot Tears podcast. Manscaped have provided each of us with a version of the Performance Package 4.0, which includes their most advanced shaver yet, the Lawnmower 4.0, which comes with ceramic blades and skin-safe technology to ensure more precise shave, along with a LED light to help alongside. It also includes a weed whacker, which is for your nose and ears, to help try and keep those pesky hairs in shape. We also have some nice ball deodorant in the Crop Preserver and a Crop Reviver toner. And Manscaped are even kind enough to include a set of skin-safe boxes and a very convenient travel bag. And if that wasn't all enough, Manscaped have been kind enough to give us our own discount code, which will give you 20% off and free shipping with your order. That code is 3FootTears. Use code 3FootTears with any future purchase, and you'll receive 20% off and free shipping. Thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast.
Okay, so this week has seen Serie A TOTS drop, and the very surprising factor in this was a player who wasn't wouldn't expect her to have got such a massive boosted card was the player to be the most expensive in Rafael Leao. He got boosted with his stats, he got boosted with his skill moves as well. So it's 3.18 million as it stands right now. And he does look insane, but it's one of those things, and I've seen a few people talk about it recently about, the difference in tier levels between cards, and are they really worth that price bracket? So obviously he's had his 5-star skill moves upgrade, but does that really make him 3.2 million down from what was 160k on his headliners? So before I talk about the rest of the team, I'm going to put that to you guys. What do you think about this?
So, in particular, I think the main reason someone like Rafael Leao has got such a big upgrade, and me and Luke sort of have spoken about this, is when we were doing our Serie A predictions, it was like, this is not going to probably be a very good team of the season in comparison. But EA being EA, they need to make their money. They got to encourage people to buy those FIFA points. And what better than to just go batshit crazy and upgrade some of the cards, not many, but some of the cards, just to that ridiculous level.
Yeah, and I do get that, but do you still think even with being upgraded that highly that he's worth 3.2 million?
I'd say so, yeah. I'll come in on this. If you want to take Exhibit A and look at Vinicius Jr., who's worth 2 million more, and he's got a statistically better card, in terms of you've got the same pace, 3 more shooting, 3 less passing, more physical, 1 less dribbling.
Yeah.
When you look at it compared to that, and I'd say 5-star, 4-star, same as him. High-low work rates compared to high-medium on Vinny. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty worth it.
It's just one of those things that, like, this year we've noticed that there's more than ever, there's like a massive gulf in when you get basically players that are 20 or 30k in a promo, and then you get maybe one or two that are at a mid-range of sort of 200k, and then the top ones seem to be way out of everybody's budget, and it seems to have happened all the way throughout the year, not just for team of the season. Like, you've got literally 3.18 million for Liao, 2.62 million for Dybala, again has had a 5-star skill move upgrade. Teo Hernandez at 1.2 mil. Then the next one down is 500k for Koulibaly. So it's like you suddenly drop from like millions or multiple millions down to like a 500k centre back, and then beyond him it's like 260k for Vlahovic, 200k Berardi, and it's just, I just think it's like strange in the gulf of where they sort of price them at, because you think like, well, you know, going from a 30k card to a 200k card from like lower tier to mid tier, and then from mid tier to premium you're going like 1 or 2 million. It just seems bizarre in terms of like how high and how expensive they are. But yeah, as I mentioned, Berardi, Vlahovic, Immobile, Dybala, Tonali, Hernandez, Milinkovic-Savic, Koulibaly, Brozovic, Cuadrado, Çalhanoğlu. We've got Lautaro Martinez. Biggest surprise for me being the objective card, because I think maybe not necessarily this year, because this card doesn't actually look as good as maybe previous years' cards, but I was quite surprised to see a card of this stature as an objective card. Were you?
Oh, 100%. It did take me off guard with how much in recent times they've gone sort of middle of the road ones. So as Jork last week being the Moments card, and Flashback Dante, suddenly stepping that up to Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah,
definitely a big step.
It's massive, wasn't it? And you got to think, like, we got like what Moments De Gea and other things during like other we got goalkeepers and things. So then suddenly get what looks like he's still a very usable striker, but we would say obviously with some of the 5-star skillers now available, that 4-star, and maybe some of his other stats don't quite look as good as some of the other strikers available, but he is, let's not forget, a free card. And certainly for people that like do series and stuff like us guys, that's massive, because it's another player to use who costs us only our time, and you know, it's one extra player for me to discard as soon as I've done him. And then other than that, they've got the Pellegrini SBC, nicely priced SBC for 87k for, again, a not bad looking cam card. All of his stats, or all of his sort of face card stats above 85, and he's 4-star for 87k. I thought that's pretty insane as well. But yeah, what do you think about that, Mers, with the objective and the SBCs? Do you think they've been sort of well priced compared to like how the rest of the team, like I say, seems to be a massive gulf in prices?
Well, objective, you can't put a price because it's free, except for your time. But to be fair, talking back to the Lautaro Martinez and it being a bit unexpected, let's not forget that a couple of weeks ago they put in Ansu Fati as an objective card.
Yeah.
And that, again, was
a massive surprise.
A bit unexpected. Yeah. And that card is absolutely amazing. He's in my team at the moment. And I'm going to do the Lautaro Martinez because, well, I got a bit lucky. I had a red pick Dybala, so nice strong link to have him. But in terms of the pricing, yeah, the pricing isn't too bad. I mean, Kessie, I mean, to be fair, for the price that you're getting a very solid card.
Yeah.
So you can't really complain about what you're getting. As for Pellegrini, looks stat-wise not too bad. It's quite a solid-looking card. Again, price-wise, not bad looking. Generally speaking, that's how most of the SBCs, though, have been this year.
Yeah.
They haven't really done too many that have, like, multiple amount of SBCs. It tends to be about 2 or 3 is the typical standard this year. And it goes from varying from about like 80k to some being up to 150k, and then you get like the really high standard ones being about 500k. So I think it's no complaints at the moment. I would happily do. Well, I've even started doing Kessie, to be fair, to put into the team to replace my Fabinho.
Yeah. And have you used your red pick Dybala yet? Because I mean, I always, Luke sort of knows this of what my love for that moments card last year was like, and if I could choose or get any card from this Serie A Tots, it would be Dybala, because I just think in game for some reason I love him. I think he just feels like the perfect player for me. So have you used him? Have you sort of seen how good he is?
Yeah, the only part I've used him at the moment is in friendly, so I've been doing that Serie A golden goal objective.
Oh yeah.
And
The 1 goal cup.
I
yeah.
brought him off of the bench a few times, like second half. I haven't got him into the starting lineup at the moment. That is what my plan is, but I need to finish off Kessie. I need to get Lautaro and Martinez. I need basically to get the links in to help him, because Serie A up to this point is not really a league that I've done many SBC players, objectives, packed or anything like that. So it's an area that I'm lacking in. So it's when you get a card of that gravitas, you kind of feel like you have to put him in the starting lineup, at least to try him.
You want to find a way
minimum.
you want to find a way, and obviously not always people have got coins, so the way is to use your untradables and things like that. But yeah, if you haven't done many of the SBCs because you've not had them, that's understandable. Have you tried any of the sort of premium Serie A Tots players out yet, Luke?
I've not really got a chance to, no. Before I touch on sort of them, I do just want to follow up on that golden goal objective. Me and Mers touched on it last week. What's your thoughts on the sort of golden goal aspect going on? You a fan of golden goal being mandatory?
Mandatory is a difficult thing, because obviously people play golden goal in the objectives things because they want to get time done, or they want it to get done quickly. But then some people don't do it because, like I said, some people still want to play this game to win, or play the game for a sense of a sort of win-loss record. But yeah, I mean, it's just a game mode, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's not. It doesn't define the whole game. I think I don't have any problems with it.
Oh, okay. We were thinking you might really like it, obviously, considering how much of an issue you've had with certain people in the past not quitting in icon swaps, for example. We thought you'd be a proper fan of that.
I haven't played the mode yet, so I haven't seen I haven't even really seen the rewards that you get from it, so it would be something for me to look at. But yeah, I mean, I don't, in that sense though, I think it's just it's difficult, because like when you do the online icon swaps, or you do the objective players, and you kind of want people to quit, but like I say, it's a privilege, not a right. So we shouldn't always expect everyone to do it just because people do, and majority, I think you'd probably say, I don't know what, 75% of people probably quit out now when you score a goal in objectives. So it's not like it happens all the time, or certainly 75% I would say in my experience. But it does just mean that it highlights that one time you don't get it, which makes it a little bit worse. And I mean, there was an instance the other week when I was 8-0 up, and I think at that point I'm thinking, what are you actually here for? I know there's objectives where you only have to score a goal, and they may have well have been at that point. They didn't need the win, didn't need to do a cross or a finesse or whatever. They just needed to score a goal in their 10 games, and that's fine. But at 8-0, knowing that they've not really had a chance, I just think, is it not just quicker just to quit out? But
that's fair.
Like I say, it's a privilege, not a right. So I can't moan and complain about it. And like I said, whilst I do play golden goal if I'm going for certain things or objectives, if I was also doing just to score in 10 games and it was my last one, and I think I'm going to be able to score, I don't quit out. So, I can't be angry at those that don't do it either.
That's fair. To summarise quickly for you, Serie A Cup, you start off, it goes about 1 to 7, and then it starts jumping in sets of 2 after that. So you get started off with some EFIGS packs.
Oh yeah.
and then it moves into the ones that have just come out into the squad building challenges now. You get the 2 times Serie A 80 pluses, and it goes into eventually 80 times 10 and into generic packs.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like is it a capped again? How many you can play a day or
5 a day?
5 a day. Okay.
And you got 11 days now from here on out. So
it sounds pretty good. And have we seen what matchmaking's like in terms of divisions?
It seems fairly standard. I know I got fortunate in my French League ones to start off with. I went 9 wins out of 10, but then it sort of hit a little bit of a bit more wobbly at that point. But it seems fairly fine.
The only thing I don't them EIGS packs I saw that on there was an objective where you had to do play pretty much one of every single game mode, I think, and then the last one I've got there is I need to play 5 rivals games, and then I get the 5 83 plus EIGS pack, but the chances or likelihood of me being able to play 5 rivals games is pretty small at the moment, so I probably won't get the pack. But I also think is there anything really available for it at the moment? I suppose there's a few Italians in the team of the season.
So it's the league specific, bear in mind, so it's not nation.
Oh, the league specific.
EFIGS is
EFIGS
is the
Italian,
top
France,
5 leagues.
Right, okay.
That's the top 5 leagues, that's what it's saying.
Right.
It's top 5 league pack.
So you could end up getting 5 players and none of them be from Serie A.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-player pack.
83 plus times 5, that one. I'm thinking I'm just going to get a bunch of 83s from the Prem or something, and I don't want to grind for that sort of rubbish pack.
But what I would say is you could save them for the ultimate team of the season, and you say the grind. To be fair, every time I've done the 5 games, I've done the 5 for the Serie A, 5 for the Ligue 1, and I've been done within about maybe 40 minutes for the 10 games, because literally you go in, you're about maybe 60 seconds tops, and the game's over basically. You getting them done quickly and easily. It doesn't take much to do the 5 games, honestly. As soon as it goes to 6 o'clock, you could be done by 10 past. It can be that quick
if you're lucky or unlucky in the same vein.
I suppose, have you had any of those kind of games that have gone to 80 minutes without any goal?
I think the longest I went was 40.
Yeah, it's quite uncommon, isn't it, to not have a goal in the first half, really, I suppose.
Yeah, and at that point, once it's getting later on in the half, if I'm realising this is being really boring, I'll just slap it in ultra attacking, so either way it ends.
Yeah.
Rather than drag it out.
That's fair enough. So the other thing, as Mers has already touched on, is the Kessie SBC. He looks pretty incredible, don't you think? I mean,
I've definitely heard good things. From what I've heard, he's surprisingly nimble for what he looks.
Okay.
For his usual tanky build. I can't remember where I saw it, but someone commented that he's actually surprisingly nimble for what he is. What's his dribbling stats?
So his dribbling stats are 92, and he's got 92 agility, 93 balance. So it does say that he should be, but we also know that a lot of the time it's body build and things that does also affect it as well. So he's 6 foot. He looks like an insane card, and at 280k, I mean, if he was a TOTS at this, I think he'd probably be more than that. Yeah,
he'd probably be easily double, I would say.
I would say it'd be about $500,000.
For Fana would probably be the sort of indication levels, I would say, for his price.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it'd be about $500,000, and I think that's a pretty good card, especially if you're doing player picks or you've got some team of the seasons that you're packed throughout doing these promos that you're not going to use, that are 93 or 94 rated, that can make your SBCs a lot cheaper. So to get a decent player like that, and also actually, I know you said about Fofana, but there are actually a lot of nice looking Ivorian cards in the game at the moment as well. So it'd be quite nice to be able to branch out into some sort of different little hybrids, use a Sangare and things like that. But with that,
Talk-
we haven't just got Serie A. We also have another TOTS.
We have another 2 tots. We've
Another
got
2.
both. Yeah, we've got the Rest of the World, which came out on Saturday, and then we've got the MLS, which came out on Sunday. So there's not too many headliners to speak about in this. Somebody previously last year had a headliners card in Tavernier. That and Oscar are pretty much the main highlights of the Rest of the World. You got Christensen, the right back, is a strong link to Adeyemi if you really want to force him in your team. You have to play him like centre mid. The main 2, because you've got a mixture of, and when I say a mixture, you've got the Australian League, you've got the Indian Pro League, Ligue 2. We've got Dynamo Kiev, the Ukrainian League. I think there's a 3rd tier German. I know that. There's a whole bunch all over the place.
Yeah.
But at least Kim Min Jae's now got a centre-back partner, which I've definitely not been using a Korean weekend league team this week. So that's how I know that there is a K-League centre-back that links to your Super League centre-back you probably got last week in your guaranteed. Both 90 pace, both fairly good.
And I think you've used the Mukhtar, haven't you?
Yes, so Mukhtar is in the MLS team of the season.
Yeah.
So Mukhtar being one of the headliners there. The striker alongside him, which I'm going to have to look the name up quickly, is Castellanos. Feels beautiful. He can turn.
Right, okay.
He's about 5'10". He turns fairly well for sort of someone of his build.
And he's
95 pace. Argentinian, 95 pace, 95 shooting, 95 physical, 93 dribbling, 4-star, 3-star, I believe. So the 3-star weak foot is not ideal. Just don't shoot with his left foot. But I'm used to that. I've used Andre Silva with 4-star, 3-star all year, so I'm prepped for it. Avoid the left foot, just shoot normally.
Yeah, see, I have Mukhtar's Cam Squad Foundations card. And I did at the time I got it, use it as a super sub a couple of times, and he was very good. So I would like to use the left forward card. And obviously, let's say with Castellanos being Argentinian, this guy being German, it's not like they're impossible to link across. Like, they both have strong linking icons, or they have, you have German players in other leagues or Argentinian players in other leagues, like Mers, for instance, has got Dybala. So you can definitely get some chemistry on these guys and be usable players.
The Argentines in themselves, there's 3 Argentines in the league. There's Castellanos, there's Bravo, the left back, and then there's the SVC, which for an 84 rated squad at this point in FIFA, fairly cheap. I think it comes in around probably 40 to 50k. You've got a perfect link to the striker in Maxi Morales. So 4-star, 4-star, 90 pace, 94 dribbling, 89 shooting, 92 passing. What's his height? 5'2".
He's short. Yeah,
he's 5'2".
I remember because last year I got him in a draft. It was when drafts were really juiced, so I got him on full chemistry, and I thought he was brilliant. Like, as a team of the season card, he was insane. So it's nice that you're saying he could potentially be a very good card again this year. Low centre of gravity, nice agility, nice balance. The one that strikes me out of all of them is what I'm looking at the moment is Carlos Gil.
Yeah.
Because obviously he gets a team of the season a lot of years as well, and his card looks insane, even potentially as a striker. What I notice most about this card, and I don't know how I feel about this, because I do always think that passing's always a little bit iffy in FIFA anyway, but he has 99 vision, 99 crossing, 99 short passing, 99 curve, 97 long passing, and 90 free kick accuracy. So in his in-game stats for passing, 90 is his worst, and that's free kick accuracy. Everything else is 97 or 99. That's insane. This guy shouldn't really misplace any passes. He's Spanish, so he's linkable. Yeah, so I'd like to try this card out. This card looks very good, and actually, again, very affordable at 175k.
Yeah, he does look very solid. Obviously, for team of the season, 88 pace now, for some reason, is going to get sort of looked down upon a little bit. It's still very respectable. If you chuck a hunter on this guy, probably a good striker. What's his work rates? We're looking medium-high, so medium defensive, high attacking. That's good. 5-star, 4-star. Definitely worth a tryout.
I'd like to try him out, definitely.
And when we were talking about all the Argentinians, I got really excited seeing all these Argentinians, and then saw, Zella Ryan's got an objective card, and then realised he changed his nationality to Armenian. Considering every year he's Argentinian, he's got some informs this year Argentinian, but he's done a Mikel Antonio, and they've not updated it on his normal cards, but they've given him a special card of his different nationality. Still looks like a decent card if we go take a look at that now. So obviously it's going to be a bit more difficult to link, but what do you need for this? You need to play 10 games of 7 MLS, that's pretty much standard for any of the objectives. 90 pace, 88 shooting. Of course, it's showing me the wrong thing. 3-star, 3-star. See, that's where I've fallen out with this. Okay, maybe this isn't that good a card for me, but it might be for some people.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, sometimes the weak foot is not as bad, but when it comes to the skill moves, 3-star is a bit.
It hurts me a lot when I see 3-star. It's the 3-star, 3-star is the exact drawbacks that made me look at someone like Goodwin, the Australian league left winger, and sort of turn up my nose at him a little bit. It's because I'm so pigeonholed by doing skills these days comparing to 3 years ago. I could barely do a roulette.
Yeah.
But now I'm finding myself more and more dependent. It becomes hard to use someone like Zella Ryan, like Goodwin. Especially if it's Goodwin. Goodwin being stuck out on the wing, you feel a bit more marooned.
Do you think though, and Mers may disagree on it, because I know he's not necessarily a skiller, but do you think it's because, like, in order to get to a certain level in the game now, you kind of have to use them?
Ish, but then also to the same extent, I feel I've got so used to using them that when you take it away from my game, I'm then trying to look back and go, right, okay, how am I going to get past this guy? Because normally I would do this. I then second guess myself, and that extra couple of seconds, I'm now, rather than being in a natural flow and beating a man, or just laying it off and going elsewhere, I'm having to think a little bit more, and I'm not as clinical and not as fluid.
I get that. Do you think it matters much, Mers?
I mean, I personally would look at skill moves, but I'm not the type of person who cares about 5-star skills on a player. I look at 4-star because I find sometimes for certain body types, a 4-star for some reason could feel a bit smoother in game in comparison to a 3-star, regardless of using the skill moves sometimes. But for me, the one that I care about the most is the weak foot more than anything, whereas Luke would be the polar opposite. He can use a 3-star weak foot. I think 3-star is usable, but it's just better to have that 4-star or 5-star weak foot in comparison, whereas skill moves I probably don't care so much about. It's more the in-game stats and work rates. That's where Stat Merchant Mers comes into play and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely don't doubt that they're important. But yeah, I just think maybe I'm a bit like Luke. So like I never ever used any skill moves. Then I go and get flashback Neymar, and I'm doing all sorts of skill moves and flicking it over people's heads to volley it in the corner. And now I feel like if I don't have that as an option, I feel like I'd be a little bit lost if I was trying out a player in that position who doesn't have that ability. You definitely get used to it. You get used to certain moves, and you get used to certain ways of playing when you got those skill moves. But yeah, I'm with you. I do think weak foot is important, and definitely, like, that's why 5-star, 5-stars and things are more expensive. But for me, I'd be happier. I'd probably be happier with a 5-star, 4-star skill moves in weak foot than I would be with it being the other way around.
Yeah, so Mukhtar would be your perfect player, since pretty much every Mukhtar card does have 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, which I'm fine with that as well. 5-star skills is a nice little bonus. It means that my Berber spins are slightly tighter and closer to the body rather than a dramatic scoop round, but that's the only game to game difference I will find. I don't, very, very rarely you see me do an Elastico or something.
The only other one that kind of sort of takes my eye or a little bit on there is this CDM price being English.
Mm-hmm. You've got a whole bunch of nice sort of nations to hybridize with. You've got the Brazilian, you've got the English, as you mentioned, German.
Yeah, I mean we've seen
Argentinians.
several Spanish left backs. I think from many different promos. Then you've got that Van den Boomen guy as well, centre mid. He looks pretty insane. Was he League 2 French league? But he's
Believe so.
Dutch, so he goes with if you got Gravenberchers or you got your Van Dijks and things, easy ways to link him in. And again, 4-star, 3-stars, not bad for a centre mid. Probably don't miss it that much. He's got the high attacking medium work rates, which that puts me off a little bit because as a centre mid with high attacking, he actually doesn't have much shooting or pace compared to his physical and passing stats. So he looks like he's more of a box to box than he is an attacking mid. But I'd like to try. I certainly would like to try a draft and try some of them out just to see sort of how good these cards are in game. Definitely,
I mean, you never know. You might get some of them later on tonight.
potentially, and then I'll never be able to play them and have to discard it by the time we have to do the next episode.
Pretty much.
What I didn't touch on though was in the Serie A Tots. If we just go back 1 second, is Delafeu new out? Incredible looking card for its price. He's 117k currently estimated on Footbin, and he's been boosted to 5-star skills. Now, not only does he link to obviously everyone in Serie A, he also is Spanish, so he links to everybody there. Like Mer said, there's now you got a free Ansu Fati card if you guys did that, and you could have this guy at cam or centre forward or striker or wherever you want him really, and
Or your Charles Gill.
yeah, and link him to Gill as well. So this card looks insane for that price. Again, I think if he was a 5-star, 4-star, 92 rated team of the season tradable, I think it'd easily be double his price, probably even treble, given his nation links as well. But he looks insane. He's got agility of 96, balance of 93. So that's sort of like one of the key things to know what he's like in game. He's height of 5'10", so he shouldn't feel too clunky, and he has got high attacking work rates with low defensive work rates. So that might be a card to tempt me as a super sub, because he is very affordable, and looks brilliant. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go back to the Serie A team of the season, I just want to say about somebody who got snubbed.
Oh,
in that team of
okay,
the
yes,
season.
I do as well. I think we're going to say the same one.
Tamori.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Fuming.
However, I've apparently heard rumours that he is going to be a objective or something during Ultimate Team of the Season. So, just seems a bit weird that he gets snubbed for the main actual Serie A and then gets put in Ultimate.
Do you think it's based off the reaction though?
I would say no to that. I feel.
I can't help but think that some people have, like, well, not some people, but certain times there's influences, and I think that could be one of them, because no one would have thought that this guy should not have got a TOTS. I don't think.
Yeah, 100%. He was on both mine and Mers's, almost one of the first names on the team sheet.
Yeah. So that says it, doesn't it? You know, most people that would have predicted team of the season, especially with, you know, not just on basically his individual performance this year, but also the fact that Milan obviously did win the league as well. That in its own right gives enough reason for him to get. I mean, who did Koulibaly for Napoli, and the other centre back was Bremer.
Skriniar as well.
And Skriniar for Inter. So yeah, I mean, I think if he didn't deserve to get it over Skriniar, then surely he deserved to get it over Bremer. But then do they not do that because then it gives us too many sort of premium players and none of, like, one less of the cheaper? I don't know. I don't think so.
Excuse me 1 second whilst I just check in on Bremer, whether he got. I think he might have got defender of the season. Just gonna check.
Yeah, he was in the official Serie A team of the season alongside Tamori.
Right.
Bremer. So it should have been over Koulibaly or Skriniar.
Okay. So there you go. So one of the actual sort of higher rated TOTS centre backs should have made way for Tamori.
mean, to be
Best
fair,
defender, I believe, voted was Gleason Bremer.
So yeah, so if he deserves his, then it's Koulibaly or Skriniar that we're looking at being replaced with Tomori based on his performances this season. And it may well be that if you look at their stats, they might have marginally beaten him. But from what I've heard and what I've seen, Tomori, it just seems surprising to me that Tomori didn't get one.
I think that would be it for team of the season talk for this week. So today is a very intriguing day.
I thought
Today
you were going
is
to say
June.
today is a special day.
Wow. Today is a very special day because today is June and today we get May's Twitch Prime Pack. So EA, I don't know what was wrong, but the Twitch Prime Pack got held back because Liga and Team of Season was out, and they just didn't want anyone to potentially get a decent Team of Season player in it, so they delayed it. And now it's miraculously fixed, and now we can have it for Serie A Team of the Season. But all I'm going to say is mine wasn't very good. I got an 84 from the actual pack, and then I got, I believe it was a Kuna or another 84, I believe, in the first player pick. The other player pick was all 82, so it was not very good. It was not very good.
Mine was also dreadful. I got Fieri as my lone icon. I got Angelino as the face card player, Pope and PK.
Okay. And mine was pretty good, and you can go and check it out on my YouTube channel on my shorts.
The plug. The cheeky plug.
Yeah, I mean, I can't give it away on there. Like, I'll tell you as much as I did get a better rating player in my front of the pack. I got Lautaro Martinez, who obviously we've been talking about with his objective player, but I also did get a TOTS in my pick as well. So yeah, mine was, by the sounds of it, significantly better than theirs.
I mean, you can watch mine on the shorts as well if you want to be like that. I mean,
Oh, I didn't realise you'd uploaded it with it being so dreadful. If I'm honest, that's all.
well, it's part of the content. You got to release the content whether it's good or bad, I say.
Put it all out there.
I was going to,
Yeah.
but then realised it dragged on too long and really didn't feel like shortening it down by about 20 seconds.
But yeah, mine was a lot better. It's nice to actually get some benefit from my Twitch Prime packs because generally they've not been that great. My Prime icon was Luis Figo, so that's not too bad. I've seen worse, or packed worse.
Reasonable card, I would say.
Who did you get?
Oh, mine was Carlos Alberto.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Better than the rest of the stuff. It's just a shame it's alone, no.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I've enjoyed my Prime Carlos Alberto on my RTG for most of the year.
But that is it for all the FIFA content. We are now going to move over to the Q&A, which will continue with FIFA-related stuff, to be fair. So let us get into question number 1. And we have got a question by Kofta. It's very short. It's very straight to the point. What's your definition of a perfect FIFA?
Wow, we should have done a podcast around this question. Okay. How nitpicky are we being here? Because we do not want to take up too much of these people's time.
I mean, you could try and focus on one area if you want to.
Okay.
Rather than trying to talk about every little individual element within FIFA.
Okay, so I'll just pick on, for me then, it's always has been and will be gameplay issues. And the ones I'll touch on is goalkeeper animations, because they're awful. I don't like that my goalkeeper does a matrix dive backwards when the ball's kicked straight at him. And passing, lot of misplaced passes in this game. And also, I don't like the fact that quite often you can only actually switch to the player you want to switch to when it's already too late. So yeah, there's little gameplay issues that make the game very frustrating to play, and that's where it just needs the improvement. I think for me, in terms of, and certainly for Team of the Season, I think there's been lots of content for people. I think a lot of objectives, a lot of SBCs, a lot of these, like we've got every promo, we've got some league-specific upgrade packs and also other upgrade packs as well, and you could get some packs leading up to it. And I think so in terms of content side of that, for certainly around Team of the Season, I'm happy, but gameplay needs a boost.
Okay. I think the perfect FIFA probably shouldn't be so fucking money orientated. There you go. Like, if it wasn't caring so much about having to sell FIFA points and making money, then I guess then the priorities get put in the right place. And then you can get a better game. Because I think that is it. FIFA has gone downhill because of it became way too money orientated. If it goes back to its roots a little bit more, then I guess... I mean, to be fair, if EA want to make money, okay, make money, but maybe put in something that doesn't necessarily have a pay-to-win element. So, like, say, for instance, Fortnite makes loads of money from selling V-Bucks and stuff, but does buying V-Bucks improve your chances of winning a game on Fortnite? No, because it's all cosmetic stuff. So maybe that's just what it needs to be, is cosmetic stuff on FIFA, like the Tifos. Maybe put because to be fair, the Tifos now there is a dedicated area in the store for Tifos where you can use FIFA points or your coins to buy yourself some Tifos and stuff. Yeah. So there is obviously an avenue for EA to try and make money in that element. I think that is it. Going back to the roots would make FIFA the perfect game.
Do you think though it has got a little bit better? Just the only reason I say that is because like I've seen a lot of people do like 7-day RTGs and things this year, which I don't think would have been possible some time ago.
It has indeed got better because of the fact that you got your guaranteed ratings on packs and stuff like that. And for instance, like this year, I have not felt the need to turn to FIFA points, but you can see there is clear evidence that EA are trying to put like those things like the Serie A team season, like we were talking about with Liao, looking so incredible that if there's some little Timmy out there who goes, oh, look at Liao, I want to try and pack him. Oh, let's quickly use mummy's credit card and stick 12k FIFA points on just to try and get it. Then EA have succeeded in what they want to do. There are still people out there, non-content creators, that are still loading up loads of money on the game.
Yeah.
So they're still making the money. Luke?
So for me, I'm going to go, rather than round the houses with it, I'm just going to speak in normal senses here. I'd want the FIFA 15 style soundtrack. I'd want FIFA 16 style gameplay. FIFA 22 style champs format. And probably the amount of promos that were in either FIFA 18 or 19 before it went way too far. Short, simple, concise.
So FIFA 16, I probably need to play then because I only really started playing Ultimate Team seriously at FIFA 17. And I did actually quite like the FIFA 17 gameplay. Thought it was okay. Certainly compared to what I think was the worst one was last year's. Out of the ones I played, so I would like to play FIFA 16 based on you saying that because I'd like to see what that feels like. But yeah, I also worry about cross-gen coming up. I think that servers play a part, and I don't think that they quite prepare well enough for the traffic that comes through the servers. So it does concern me that we're now going to go cross-gen and potentially there's going to be champs over different servers, over different platforms. I'm just worried that it's going to break, essentially. I think it's inevitable that it's going to break. It's just how badly it breaks.
I partially disagree because at the end of the day, I think it might be better because they use the server. It's going to be the same servers, right? Yes, the servers aren't the best, right? They are problematic. You only have to look at sometimes on certain promos at 6 p.m. on a Friday evening, and sometimes connection to like getting into the store, even into the game, can be very problematic. Even service sometimes goes down. However, I think in terms of the matchmaking point, you might be more likely to get some matchups against people in your more localized area. So that might mean that the connection quality could be better. Because the Xbox is still going to be playing on the same person as a PlayStation. So it doesn't really make a difference in that sort of regard. In terms, the only time it's going to be problematic is if you get matched up against somebody in, I don't know, maybe Italy. Even the people in Ireland seem to have, like, when I play Gurk, the connection quality doesn't seem to be very good when playing him. It can be just as bad as playing GH and his BTEC internet connection. But moving on to the next question. So we have GH with a multi sort of tiered thing. It's a very long-winded question. It's over three lines here on Discord server, so bear with me. Favorite team of the season player you have used this year and highest rated TOTS player you have used this year. It's like very multiple questions here. For the highest rated TOTS, were they as good as you were expecting for the rating? Also, talking of rating, do you think cards live up to their rating? Or do you think a rating is a load of rubbish? Have you used a low rated card which is way better than a high rated player? What's your thoughts here?
You lost me.
I know.
So
Let's tackle them
let's
individually.
just break it down a little bit. So, yeah.
Highest rated TOTS, favourite TOTS.
Okay. So highest rated TOTS I've used. I mean, he's not a TOTS technically because he's a moments, but
TOTS moments.
so the TOTS moments I've used that I didn't get on with, and it's going to be controversial to you, Mez, because I know that you like him, is Ansu Fati. I just don't. I didn't. He wasn't as good as what, looking at his stats on his card and what I've seen of previous year Ansu Fati, I didn't actually like him. I don't think he was as good. In terms of my favourite team of the season player, I haven't actually. There's not many that I've got. I've got one that I packed in the La Liga team of the season, which is Fekir, who I would like to actually try and game, but I haven't got around to be able to play a game since I had him. But one that is a staple in my team and was before he became a TOTS with his 90 rated boosted UCL Live card is Bernardo Silva, and I like that. I like him in game generally, but I definitely like his TOTS.
Okay, so you answered the first part of GH's question with a 92 rated card, and then you finish it off with a 94 rated card. So Bernardo Silva is both parts, highest rated and favourite.
Yeah,
it was
so,
highest rated.
Yeah, but I just want to touch on because he said about a card that it wasn't as good, and I think for me Ansu Fati isn't as good as his stats in game.
Okay, I mean, going back to the Ansu Fati and his stats, I mean, for a 92 rated TOTS, he doesn't actually have. He has similar stats to most 92 rated, but in performing in game, I think the pace is obviously the biggest thing that you notice about him.
He's definitely quick. He just can't finish his dinner, and he's got 99 finishing. In a video I did around him, he literally couldn't. He missed more than he scored.
But then during my FUT champs, I had that with even high rate cards, and yes, I had that situation with Ansu Fati as well. But I was having that with Thierry Henry. I was having that with Son as well.
Yeah.
So it's just.
I think it does just. I think it does just happen from time to time, and I've said that about goalies. You know, I'm very happy that I've got team of the season Alisson. I think he's very, very good because I think the speed helps a lot. But again, you know, every game's different. One game he'll be brilliant, and in true fashion, EAR with goalies, one day he'll have a shot hit straight at him and he can't save it. So, yeah, I think definitely like players change sort of players do change game in, game out. I think you don't always get like the solid thing, but also I think that alongside that you've then also got the type, like the type of card or the rating of the card against that as well. So you first got like the criteria set by, you know, whether it's the face stats on the card or the skill moves, weak foot or whatever, and then when it goes into game you've got this weird kind of anomaly where sometimes they don't perform to the level that they do in the previous game. So there's like two ways that a card can be better. Is one, are they just better because they've got skill moves and weak foot that is more desirable, or in-game stats that are more desirable, and then do they actually perform more consistently in the actual game than somebody else who seems to be a bit off.
Luke, what about that first part of GH's question? Favourite tots and your highest rated tots that you've used?
So, I'm just going to clarify the rating of this player. It's a tie in terms of highest rated. So, it's either going to be my red pick Sadio Mane or team of the season Harry Kane, I believe, as my highest. Both 96. As for my favourite, this should be very, 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 very well documented at this stage. I don't know how many times you have to vouch for a certain French cam, but Dimitri Payet is one of my favourite cards since FUT Captains came out, and the same has continued through to Team of the Season. The Ben Yedder is a great accompaniment to him, but Payet seems to do the job of exactly what I want him to do. He's in the right places, makes the right runs, dribble smooth as you like.
That makes me excited to try him out because he was who I got from my league in tots. So I thought that was a big win when I got it. Obviously, price wise, it's not compared to others, but definitely he looks very, very good in game.
As for myself, so highest rated, I'm not going to answer Dybala, even though he is the highest rated, but it's just because I haven't really been able to give him a true testing. So yes, he's the highest rated that I've used, but I'm going to say properly used over a good amount of games is Son or Ruben Diaz, as both 95 rated. As for the favourite, I'm going to go with Son. He's essentially the more smoother version of Weghorst, but just without that height and bullying that Weghorst can do. He can finish his dinner. He's a good supplier to Thierry Henry. He's also chipping in with the goals as well. So he's a good in the two up front formation. So start him off out wide and then switch him to striker in the 4-2-2. Then going into the next part of GH saying underwhelming card, Lafont. I've got to say, the difference between, and this has happened with a couple of other like team of the season goalkeepers, and trying them out versus like the lower rated. It's just some weird situation where somehow just making them even more higher rated just suddenly seems to break them, and they don't seem to perform as well as the lower rated card. Yes, the Lafont team of the season still does some solid performances, but he seems to concede more goals than his 86 rated in form. And it's a kind of a disappointing situation because I had high hopes, because Lafont's 86 rated card was one of my favourite goalkeepers going into team of the season. During team of the season, De Gea has become probably the favourite goalkeeper that I've used in FIFA 22 so far.
It's not the first time I've actually heard that about keepers. I had my brother said that he had the winter wild card Mendy for a while.
Yeah.
And when he got his, what was team of the near, as we call it, or team of the year nominees, he upgraded him and said it was like a completely different goalkeeper. Like he was awful compared to the winter wildcard version, and it is strange, isn't it? Because you think like everybody loved the gold Mendy when you first started. Said he was insane, and I used him a couple of times, and he was actually pretty good early on in the game. Then he's upgraded to the Winter Wildcards, and he's got even better. And then suddenly he gets an even better card, and he's worse. It is strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did like that signature signings card. It was a good card.
I actually quite say I'd liked honourable mentions Mendy quite a lot when I used it. So it's a bit weird, but this is what goalkeepers are like in FIFA.
Oh yeah,
the Marmite.
Yeah.
You either love them or you hate them, and they're very, very divided on opinions. Like a lot of people say, Mignan, or however you
Mignon.
actually
Mignon.
properly pronounce Mignon. A lot of people rate him so highly as a goalkeeper in the game, but yet I think he's one of the worst goalkeepers that I've used in the game. So it just shows how different on opinions goalkeepers can be on FIFA.
And I do generally just think that they're with certain animations and things this year, they have broken goalies. Like we started off the year, everybody like complaining, I think, but actually now in hindsight, everybody would be probably want to take it back to that original patch where everyone was saying that goalkeepers were too overpowered and they wanted it to change, and then suddenly it seemed like whatever they did to change it broke it, and instead of it being tougher to score, it's now become easy to be able to green time finesse it from a certain angle, or not even do that. I mean, I've seen multiple times where they can just hit it straight at the keeper and they dive backwards like on the floor, and I just think, yeah, if I could take it back to that pre-patch where they where the goalkeepers were insane and it was tougher to score, I'd rather it be there than where it is now, as we're now ending the cycle.
The last part of his question, which was just basically saying, do you think cards live up to the rating, or do you think ratings are a load of rubbish? I think it's a very weird situation, because you can have two cards that are the same rating, same position, but the stats can be such a stark contrast from one another. Like, say, for instance, you can take some of the team of the seasons and you can look at the players and they can both be the same rating, but one player could have 100 more in-game stats than the other, and that can make a big difference, to be honest.
Yeah,
it
definitely
does make a big difference when it comes to in-game, and same with certain critical stats as well. So, like, say, for instance, you take a centre-back. That's the same rating. One could have really good agility, balance, but have really bad composure. And the other could have alright balance and agility, but absolutely have amazing composure, great aggression, and then great defending stats. So
yeah, face rating on a card doesn't tell you anything. It's in-game stats and well, like we've said earlier, body type, skill moves, weak foot, they're the things that make the players that much better. We know that somebody with, agility and balance of 60 isn't going to be good. It doesn't matter what rating his card is, he's going to feel sluggish in game. It's just how it is. And obviously the anomaly is Silver Stars. You're going to have 74 rated cards that feel like they're 85 rated or something. But yeah, it's definitely more about in-game stats, body type, and a combination of those, I think.
Do you read much into rating, Luke?
Not too much, no. And to go on to the bit that I didn't get asked last time, I think Bukayo Saka's the biggest letdown. He's the biggest letdown I've experienced. It was one of the first cards I did, and I hated it. It seemed an ideal card for me, 4-star skills, right mid, all right winger, but he just disappointed throughout. It wasn't even that big an upgrade for him compared to his third inform.
Yeah.
He didn't deliver on so many levels, and it almost wound me up. To the
You
point
did
of,
advise
I don't
me
know.
to not do him.
I did, and people swear by this card. People actually do well against me with this card, but he seemed like the ideal card for me, and he just didn't click at all. I still somehow have him. I said I'd send him into an SBC. I don't know how he survived. I don't know why he's still here. But something's wrong with that card. But as for ratings, yeah, you can take them with a pinch of salt. Andre Silva feels like a 99 rated card and he's 87. What can I say? But on a more honest sort of level, cards like Perisic, I mean, 92, his FUT fantasy, it feels like it was the team of the season back then. That feels like a card that's insane. Same with my 93 oh god. Same with my 93 Melito. That card feels mental, and I'd say that's justifying of its rating. Certain cards justify it and certain ones don't. That Saka probably felt more like an 86 than a 91. Cards like that New Castellanos probably does live up to the 93, maybe if they gave him a 4-star weak foot. So it sort of depends on what the card is. So you're never going to see, say, I'm trying to think of a good example of like a midfielder that's not going to feel like insane for the stats, but they've got a high rating. So if I just take a gander, Bruno Fernandes, 93 rated, doesn't actually feel that good. I've heard numerous people say that it does not perform as if it's a 93 rated card. It probably feels more like an 88, 89.
I can vouch for that to some extent, because I got him before I got my Bernardo Silva. So I upgraded, or thought I was upgrading, my Bernardo Silva 90 rated UCL card to the Bruno TOTS, and then he was terrible. So I put my 90 rated Bernardo back in, and then I got the TOTS Bernardo, and yeah, he felt the same as, if not better than, the 90 rated. Like, not so much of a noticeable difference, but you know, he's just a little bit quicker and things like that.
I finally sent my Bernardo Silva 90 rated into an SBC for the icon player pick. It's because I had the 94 untradeable. There's no need. It's just a duplicate card. Same with Showdown Sula.
Yeah.
Well, talking about like ratings and how they are in game. Now, not everyone uses FUTBin, so this is probably something that I'd recommend people doing and using this feature, which is when you click on a player. So let me click on Saka, as you're saying, which is what I was already looking at while you're talking about him. So FUTBin says he is actually, without putting any chem styles on, a 91 rated right midfielder. However, if I was then to go on Pablo Sarabia's objective card, which is also 91 rated, without any chem styles, the game is saying in game, rating wise, he's actually 92 rated. So already he's punching one higher than his card is stat wise in game, based off of all his stats and like the algorithm that they use. So it basically gives like what they would be roughly rating wise feeling based on their stats. Like, for instance, if you tried to put him at CDM, he would feel like a 79 rated CDM card, because he doesn't really have the CDM stats, because obviously he's only got 65 defending.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows that already Saka's not really as good as what the card is making it out to be. He is basically the rating what it's saying, but there are cards that are pushing higher than what they are. So another one, an example, is Kessie. So he is 93 rated, but without any chem styles, he's actually apparently more like a 95 rated CDM.
Right. Okay.
So it's, but it also in some ways is EA kind of trying to put the ratings down a bit, but at the same time, the stats aren't really much different from, say, like this time last year with team and season, but the difference was last year team and seasons were higher. So I think it's just at a point where EA are making these lower rated cards, pushing above what they actually are in game for some of them. So when we get to the point of 99 rated players, we're probably going to have like ridiculous like stats on the 99 rated players, where we probably will see pretty much 99s across the board. So they're genuine like 99s.
So that you actually notice a difference from team of the season to end game card.
Potentially, yes.
It makes
But
sense in that sense when you think of it that way, because they don't want to kill the game now when they, it's inevitable we're going to probably get at least 2 more promos.
So that is it. So yeah, sometimes cards just don't feel like what they are, but the thing is, it's EA who decides what the rating is, but you just got to use things like Footbin, look at the chem stars, look at the in-game stats to actually truly see, oh yeah, this guy actually does look like a 90 rated card, or actually this guy actually looks like a 93 rated card or something.
Yeah.
So yep, but that is it for this week's Q&A. As always, if you would like to submit some questions for the Q&A, please feel free to join our Discord. The link is down in our description. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. There was no This Week in Football because there just wasn't really much to talk about just yet. Obviously, as coming weeks go by and there's more to talk about, like maybe transfers and stuff, we'd probably bring it back as a transfer talk or something. But at the moment, we're keeping it a bit more FIFA soul orientated, the podcast. But Luke and Brad, thank you for participating in the podcast as always.
Always a pleasure.
No problem.
And we will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.